Hey guys, good morning. Back to work. Going to try to keep you updated and keep moving. Don't know how much I'll get done today. Still exhausted, but woke up. The interesting thing was last night I learned that persistent hiccups is a rare side effect or symptom of COVID in men who are non-smokers, and the median age is 56 in the article that I read, and said that all of these subjects suffered from persistent hiccups. And I wondered when the weird crap was going to hit me, because nothing is ever normal for me when it comes to something like this. And started getting the hiccups yesterday. I thought it was a fluke. I got them a second time, got a third time. And all the home remedies, nothing really works. I've tried spoonfuls of sugar, spoonful of jelly, spoonful of hot sauce, eating ice, drinking water, just everything you can imagine, peanut butter, and every now and then I'll stumble across something that'll wipe it out, and then it comes back a few hours later. Woke up at 5:45 this morning with the hiccups, and what got rid of it this morning was eating 2 slices of plain bread. Go figure. So anyway, going to start talking about the business registrations and the process I have to go through in Florida. I am not a lawyer, not a CPA. I've just been a businessman for 25 years and know how to figure this stuff out. So I'll tell you kind of what I'll go through. It's going to be different in every area, probably even different in different areas in Florida when it comes to this. But generally, these are the kinds of things you have to be looking at. So the first thing I did was went to the IRS website. I don't know if you have to do that first, but I started at the top and worked my way down, because that's the top level you're going to have to deal with. And you're going to need an EIN number for your business, an employee identification number. Now, you don't have to have this if you're running a really small business. You can run things through your social security number, but I'm not a tax I'm not a CPA, I'm not a lawyer, just know the business side of it. So you might want to consult with someone before you make that decision how you're going to do it. If you have an LLC, then you can have certain protections legally against your private assets, but that's not always true, because so many people start an LLC, then they just commingle everything personally anyway, so it doesn't make any difference, and there's no legal protection from that. But in this case, I'm running a separate LLC. I will probably eventually have employees, and certainly hope so. And so I have to have an EIN number to establish those things. So your employee identification number, your EIN, is kind of like your social security number for your business. So you get that from the IRS. It's a real simple form you fill out online. You literally get the letter back digitally in a PDF file within minutes when you do all this. So getting the EIN number is probably the easiest thing you can do. You just have to choose how you're going to set up your company. In this case, we have LLCs that are set up, and they're currently set up as member managed, or excuse me, not member managed, but manager managed. There's I don't know if this is the same way in every state or not, but what I learned was that if you have a member managed LLC, the majority vote rules by the percentage of ownership. Cumulative adds up to more than 51%, or more than half your company. Majority control makes that decision from the members. So if you have 3 people that own 1/3 each, or 4 people that own 25% each, then 3 of those 4 people must agree on a decision for it to take place. 2 out of 3, if you're evenly distributed, you get the point, I think. Manager managed means you've appointed someone to make the decisions for your business. And if you're, for example, this is these LLCs are set up with me. Tammy and I are both listed as managers, and if we ever take on investors, then we make the decisions under an investment role, not the majority buying the company and then deciding how we're going to run it. And so different things to look at there. If you're only ever planning to own the company yourself and never have partners or anything, then I don't know that it makes a difference, but this is the way we're doing it. After I got the EIN, then I had to go register with the Florida SunBiz website. Now, I used a company I just searched on business registration, registered agent, found a company that pretty inexpensively will register your company for you, and they'll also be your registered agent. So your personal information doesn't show up on the documents when people look at them on the state website. When you register a business, you'll start getting all kinds of phone calls, start getting all kinds of things in the mail, people to sell you the HR posters that go on your wall that you can just print for free, really, and put up yourself. But they try to convince you that you have to have this or you're going to get fined by OSHA and all this stuff. But you do need to have this stuff up, but you don't need to subscribe to these $500 a year things or whatever they're trying to sell you to subscribe to that stuff. You just have to stay on top of it. If you're a huge company and you don't want to mess with that, maybe it's worth it. For me, it's not. But anyway, the registered agent will do some things for you, like accept pieces of mail, forward them to you. If there's any correspondence that has to do with your company, they'll kind of be a mask for you, and so that you don't get bothered personally. One of the LLCs, my main LLC, 484 Brands, when I registered, I didn't check the box right, so some of our information's out there, but yeah, it shouldn't be that bad. The other one that we registered is, masked and everything. That did that properly. So little mistakes, just fumbling my way through this. Now in Lee County, Florida, they have a really good document that's a checklist that tells you everything you need to know and things you need to check and things that you need to be prepared to register for in order to do business there. So now that I'm with the IRS, I have my EIN, I'm registered with Sunbiz in Florida as a business, then I have to go to the Florida, that's where I'm at right now, is the Florida revenue site to register for collecting and remitting sales tax. So if you're selling goods and you're selling them in that state, locally, you're going to pay sales tax generally to the state, and you'd have to track that and remit it on a monthly or quarterly basis, however you're going to do that. So you have to have a separate tax ID to do that. And typically that's also your tax resale certificate that allows you to buy wholesale from other companies without paying sales tax to them. They just want your tax ID and documentation that you're eligible to buy tax-free from them in order to resell. And the key to that, you got to remember, is that is for buying goods for resale. You don't typically buy goods for use and not pay tax on it for your business. So keep that in mind. There are some other registrations I have to do. I have to register with Lee County. I have to register with the city of Cape Coral, where we're located. So the more you're down into a state, county, city, and these local municipalities, you may have to register more things and pay more taxes and different fees. And sometimes it's not a tax, and it's just an annual license fee to do business there, where they come and make sure your business is safe, and you've got you're not fabricating and welding inside of a retail store or something stupid like that. So going through that process right now, getting all those things formed and set up, and then once I have all that, I have to get insurance on the business. There'll be just just a general liability policy. Somebody comes by to pick up an order and they slip in the front door and get hurt, then liability insurance kicks in. Or if there's a problem with a product or something like that is in this line of work not really applicable, but you got to have that for my landlord, you got to have it for the business, and get that in place. Once all of those things are done, then I'm free to conduct the business, except I got a lot more work to do. But today, doing these registrations, I'm going to try to get through as much of this as I can, and then give you like a checklist of what I went through here, because wherever you're at, if you're going to register a business, then you need to figure out what all you have to do in that locality and who you need to work with and get registered in order to do all of this legally and stay on top of it and everything. Again, I can't stress the importance enough, if you have an LLC, to keep that separate from your personal dealings, because an LLC, the idea is that if you have something happens under that LLC, someone can't legally penetrate your company and come after your personal assets. So let's say if a customer comes in the front door, slips and falls, and they can't sue me and take my home away. But if I commingled that, if I was running that business out of my home, if I'm commingling my bank accounts and just moving money willy-nilly and doing all these things that just scramble the eggs, you're not going to have any protection under that. And I had, matter of fact, I had a lawsuit a few years ago where I was sued in a state, in another state, and they sued my business and me personally. And normally that would have been tossed out, but because my YouTube channel was involved and some other things, there were also previous decisions in that state involving similar arrangements, we weren't able to get that part of the lawsuit tossed. So a lot of different things when it comes to that you got to be thinking about, and how to protect yourself. If you don't have much, what is there to protect? But if your business becomes successful, then you could have a lot more and protect that better by doing so. So think a lot about that. Again, I'm not a doctor, a lawyer, or a CPA, but I do have COVID, and I've run business for 25 years, and I've been in court a lot. So I've got a lot of experience at each of those things, I think. But anyway, I'll get through all this, get everything set up, and then I'll give you the checklist, what I had to go through and how I did it, basically, and maybe that'll help you guys out if you ever start a business or are just curious and want the knowledge. Then maybe this will help you out a little bit, and we'll see where this goes. And so the fun continues. It's now day 2 this week. As you see, I changed shirts. And working on the business still, getting things set up. Got through a lot yesterday. I posted on Facebook last night and social media that I did so much yesterday that I felt awful, and I felt good because I did so much yesterday. Got a lot accomplished, still a lot to do. Waiting on the city of Cape Coral to call me back so I can get my certificate of use business license there and wrap up insurance and things like that. And then so in lieu of waiting on some of those things today and taking care of some more of that stuff, started working on the technical aspects of things today. I have the site migrated over from TroyGram to TroyTube.net. Very important, it's .net, not .com, TroyTube.net. And the reason I had to do that was because it had the word gram in it. It started out with monogram, so it's called TroyGram, but Facebook won't let me link an application that has the word gram in it because they own Instagram. So I had to rebrand a little bit. There's probably still some things not working right, but people are able to register and sign up on the TroyTube.net site, which is where everything's going to happen initially anyway. So that site will be, I'll be working on it. There might be times when you get an error when you try to access it. So if you do, just come back a few minutes later. Making a lot of changes, a lot of upgrades, a lot of enhancements, a lot of features. And so there's little periods of time when I have little outages. If I've had a longer prolonged outage, like if I want to do something that's going to take me like 4 hours, I'll be doing that at a certain time window, and I'll have that posted on the site and on the Facebook group and everything. But I did another long day today, put in too much time yesterday, but I got to do what I got to do. And we're moving Noah to college this week, and juggling a lot of different things going on. And my plan is to be back in Florida by about the end of August, and get some things going. And hopefully, I think maybe over the next several weeks you'll probably start to see some more things that'll be evidence of where we're headed. But I'm going to keep that under wraps for now. And but just making progress. Want to give everyone an update, and everything's moving along quite nicely so far. Not really too many hiccups, just time-consuming work that is laborious and boring to most people. It's exciting to me. Some of it's aggravating to me and boring because we now got to deal with things like insurance and stuff. That's not what I like to do, but it is what it is. Got to do it anyway. So anyway, wanted to just give you a quick update. There's 2 days in the books, and hopefully a little bit more later coming this week, and more as we go along. I'll be giving you more substance and meat in my updates, and showing you more things in detail about what is happening, the steps I'm taking, and where we're headed, and just the overall process. I know you guys are curious about starting businesses and things you need to be thinking about, so I'll just share those things and those thoughts with you as they come to me. So thank you for coming along for the ride.